Hey everybody, Dr. Grove Higgins here with another shoe review. I am going on a backpacking trip, and so I wanted to get some hikers, and Xero being one of my favorite shoes that I've ever owned, I wanted to give their Daylite Hiker a trial. So here's what it looks like. I'm going to shoot this before my backpacking trip, and then I'll shoot another one afterwards. So let's open this puppy up. So first things first, of course, there's the packing slip. And I paid a little bit of a discount because guess what? Xero does discounts all the time. And here's the shoe. All right, so here's the Daylite Hiker shoe from Xero Shoes. It's a very attractive shoe. It's definitely more substantial than their other shoes. Take this insert out. However, even though it does have a little bit more grip on the bottom, it has definitely bigger lugs on the bottom of the sole, which is going to be great for the places that I'm hiking with a lot of decomposed granite and such. It still has a lot of the flexibility. It's just a little bit thicker, I think, than the typical Xero shoe that I have owned in the past. And then, of course, it has a much more substantial lacing system with cleats on the top to cinch in the top, so that way you can get a tighter fit around the ankle and gain maybe a little bit more ankle stability. But I won't review these much further in this state, besides the fact that they look great, they're very light, and I can't wait to try them on the trail, and I'll let you know how they perform. So taking my new Xero Daylite hiking shoes on a backpacking trip. I got about 12 miles I'm about to hit. I'm only 5 minutes in. So we'll check back at the end of this and see how they do. Part of the reason I love hiking and backpacking in Colorado is not only seeing the sights of Colorado, that's Palmer Lake behind me down in the valley below the mountain here, but a large part of it is because I get to experience so much of nature. I'm just standing here, I'm hearing birds singing and hummingbirds flying overhead and dive bombing me as I walk by their nests and such, as they trill their alarm as I'm coming by and such, and feel the crunch of the ground under my feet. But I get the air, I get the smells, I get the silence. Part of what I miss when I'm wearing regular shoes is that my feet don't really connect with the ground. I'm always protected from the ground. And I think that's the point, is to protect you from the ground with most shoes. But Xero shoes do something very different. They're helping to connect you to the ground. In Xeros, I get to feel the ground, especially in the sandals. I get to feel the ground, every little pebble and rock and such. And my feet get to really connect with the ground in ways that regular shoes don't allow me to do. And I was curious with the Daylite Daylite hiking shoes, how that would impact my feel of the trail. I've done hundreds of miles in my sandals, but this is the first time I've done one of their beefier shoes, and so I was worried about that really. And I've been very pleased as I'm walking along. just like my senses get to hear and feel and sense everything that's going on around me, my feet are feeling the same thing, just like in the sandals. I get to feel the contours of the ground. I get to feel my feet gripping the different things that I'm encountering when I walk over a rock and such like that. But it's a very comfortable thing. My feet feel protected. They don't feel vulnerable from the sharpness of a rock or whatnot. And just like in my sandals, my feet are picking better ways of engaging the ground. And so as my foot is contacting the ground, I can feel it wrap around things and propel off of things in ways that I couldn't feel in other shoes, even in my Ultras, which are really minimalist in a lot of ways, but that extra cushion didn't allow me to connect to the ground. And so it's really interesting to be able to walk along these trails and feel like my feet are listening to the ground. And in doing so, I'm enjoying it a great deal. My feet feel invigorated. It's propelling me upward and forward. So my posture, even under 20 pounds load, which is pretty light for me, but at the same time, after 10, 12 miles, can get fatiguing. And I don't feel that at all. And so I'm only halfway through with my hike, but my feet feel energized and they feel ready to continue on. And so that way they can enjoy the hike just like the rest of me. All right, let's get going. So I didn't get to go on my backpacking trip like I was hoping to, but I did get about a 12-mile hike in around Mount Herman and Mount Raspberry, not too far from my office here. And so I got something to report on these shoes. I loved these. I've been doing lots of hiking in my trail sandals, and I really love them. And I love these hikers for the exact same reason. Like I said on the trail, is that it allowed me to feel the trail. It allowed me to feel like my foot was really grounded. And because of that, I feel like it lifted me up, my posture. And I've noticed this in my trail sandals as well, is that my posture automatically gets better. I feel like I'm propelled upwards. And then my foot feels almost like my hands are on the ground. It feels like my feet are navigating the ground and gripping the ground, kind of like my hands would if I was able to walk on my hands with a lot of dexterity. My feet were really engaging the ground. And because of that, what I found was that I had quite a bit of speed and agility on the trail in a way that I think that because there is a little bit more of a sole, a little bit more thickness, that my feet were even more confident in the hiker than it is with my sandal on necessarily. This is a little bit thicker, and so my feet felt more protected. The other thing was really interesting is that the way this is designed is that the heel drops down into the back of the shoe, in the back of the boot, and it cups the heel really well. So especially when I was going uphill, I could feel myself dig into that, and as I'm pushing off, it felt like it propelled me forward in a very good way. I felt like I had lots of power, lots of speed, and my feet felt great by the end of the hike. Yes, I was tired, but my feet weren't hurting. And the next day, I barely noticed that I had been on a long trail hike with my dog. My dog didn't fare as well, but she's 9 miles was probably adequate for her. The 12 miles was a challenge, but she recovered really well too. So anyway, this felt fantastic on my feet and such. I did augment it a couple of different ways. First way was I have a weird thing on my right foot. My base of my fifth metatarsal sits right around where this strap, this reinforcement strap is on the shoe. And so I had to unlace the bottom laces here. And so by doing that, it relieved that pressure on my right fifth metatarsal, and it made it very comfortable. So that was great. The other thing that I did, and I do this with all of my Xero shoes, is I put in the Naboso sports or performance insole. And this felt fantastic. I did not feel like I got hot spots at all. It was very good. It actually felt good in my shoe to have that little bit of extra proprioception that was coming from the insole. So the Daylite Hiker from Xero, I very pleased with it. I think that if you are an outdoors person or a mountaineer of any kind, this would be a fantastic one for just about anybody that gets out on the trail. The only thing I would recommend to Xero in their future designs on this is flare out the heel just a little bit, so that way when you are making descents and the heel is hitting the ground, that there's just a little bit more bite on the back end. But otherwise, this was fantastic. This was better than my Ultras, and I really enjoyed it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, I would ask if you would please subscribe, like and subscribe to this channel and to this video, and follow me more, because I have more reviews of shoes and equipment, and also ways to break into minimalist footwear and how to do rehabilitation and strengthen, so that way you get more out of your body and you get more out of life. So live feet first, get into Xero, try this boot, and thanks for watching.